I am Feel It.
And I am Fix It. And we talk about life.
And stuff and things.
With the occasional rant.
Which you will have no problem doing.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Good night. Whatever it is, wherever you are, we hope you're having a good one.
Agreed. I'm sorry, the oomph just isn't quite there yet.
Yeah, that's okay. Just,
Agreed.
There we go.
Is that better?
A little bit. Yeah.
Thanks.
A little more energy. A little more.
It took me a second.
Sure.
Sure, you're still
cool.
hearing my voice that I'm having the thing.
Still a little under, yeah.
The stages of the thing.
Yeah, all of them not fun.
Of course, thank God nobody else in the house has
Nope.
contracted the thing.
Nope.
I still think it's just me.
I don't know. I had a little bit of a sore throat there a little bit ago, but it happens.
Like today or earlier this week?
Earlier this week.
Yeah. Well, I've never had a sore throat,
I
don't know.
Mm.
It's stages.
My tongue feels weird. Does that help?
I don't even know what that is. But I don't know why you.
No, it was from the pizza yesterday. Fresh out of the oven.
That would be it.
And I bit into it, and lava squirted out between the crust and the cheese. And,
I think it was called sauce.
yeah, it was. No, at that point it was lava.
Okay. All right, lava.
Yeah, so I'm paying. So yeah, that's rough.
So that has nothing to do with the thing.
Nothing to do with the thing. But
Again, I apologize if I cough and it's loud and all that. I'm doing my best. And the exhaustion is still very real. And I can't say I've had this kind of illness in a very, very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think my susceptibility was in recovery and hormones and
all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Because I genuinely have not really been very ill in well over a year. So had that little thing right after my hysterectomy, and I think it was something I caught from the hospital.
It is where all the sick people hang out.
But that was a few days long, and this is now coming up on about a week and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, just kind of over it.
I usually get one big one every couple of years. It's been a little while since I had one, so I'm not saying I'm expecting it, but I wouldn't be surprised if something gets me in the next year or two. But
I'm grateful, and I would like the majority of it to be gone before Thanksgiving. Because
yes, a couple days.
If we are going to be, traveling to your family, Lord knows they care.
They're weird.
Very much.
They're weird.
Yeah. I would just like the remnants of it to be gone. But I did think it was interesting when our youngest had her blood work done, and something kind of showed up in the blood work, right? And I said, look, that's real time, what it looks like when your body's fighting an infection.
Yep.
Of course, she's had zero symptoms, and she's fine.
Well, and it was, the blood work showed elevated white count, but it wasn't crazy elevated white count. It was just above what you'd call normal range. But
you also had blood work done, and yours was fine.
Yes, I'm good. Yep.
And if there's anybody that's certainly been exposed, it's been you. So.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, the only thing for me that was outside of normal range was just barely outside of normal range, and that was, it was red blood. The red cell count. It's just above the normal range, but that's typical for people undergoing treatment. So,
hormone replacement.
Hormone replacement. Yep. So it's still nothing anybody's worried about. So there's that, which is cool.
Just day by day, I've been particularly tired. So Oh, yeah. She's going to try to be right up in my face. You
Yep.
may or may not hear Dory trying to invade our space, my space.
In this chair, I barely have a lap.
She
so-
came in without a stuffy, and we call that a stuffy, but it's really a carcass, a maimed carcass of a toy. So she's going to be bored, and that's fine.
Yeah, her favorite thing to do once she gets a new stuffed toy is to kill it, to remove its voice, and then remove its innards and spread them all over the house.
Yes.
It's her favorite thing.
Takes off its face, takes away its voice, and guts it.
It can't see, it can't scream, and then she slowly rips it to pieces. It is
Like a dog.
yeah, it's horrifying. Yeah, like good to know. Good to know.
But-
like, do not put yourself in a position where she can chew on you. That is going to be a bad thing.
Anyway,
Yo.
kind of just trying to chill, trying to rest. Back at it for a short week, you know. I'm grateful. I'm not gonna lie. Holidays are a little bit of a break-ish time. I mean, not to say that everybody isn't trying to get in and be seen, and I'm only one person with so many hours in a day, and I've got my limits, but I'm doing the best I can.
You do what you can do to support the people that need you.
The holidays are upon us.
The holiday, the real holiday season has started. Yeah.
And I did share with a client, and then I do have to apologize to her because I kind of forgot about some of the language that's in it. But this is for everybody my age, our age, when Saturday Night Live was funny.
It's always been. It's always had its moments.
Okay, how about when it was way funnier? 90s, I believe. Late 80s, early 90s would have been.
If the cast is more than like 6 people, it's probably not going to be good.
You know what? I have to look up exactly when the skit was. The original skit of Dysfunctional Family Christmas.
Oh yes.
Dana Carvey, Mike Meyer, Victoria Jackson. Oh my gosh. Is it Jan Hook or Hooks?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, the guy's name is going on in my head. He unfortunately had committed suicide after murdering his wife, I believe. It was a murder-suicide. What is that guy's name?
Phil Hartman?
There we go, Phil Hartman. Excuse me.
Yes, Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman.
Yeah. She killed him, then
Yes,
Yeah.
very, very unfortunate.
yes, it was.
But this skit, if you've not seen it, look it up. Dysfunctional Family Christmas, SNL.
It was SNL.
Dysfunctional Family Christmas.
Dysfunctional Christmas songs.
It is hilarious. It's a few minutes long.
Yep.
Hopefully you get a chuckle.
Yeah, it's set up like a commercial for like the Time Life or the Time albums
Like
that
the
they used to
old
do
school.
back in the day.
But I will warn you, there is a GD in there.
There's some
and I did
language in-
forget.
Yep.
So I will apologize to my client, but she did respond to me that she chuckled hard because how she described her family was literally like this album, this fake album. And I told her about it, and I said, I think you need a moment of comic relief. Maybe you should listen to this. And she agreed. That actually sounds like her family. So don't feel alone if it sounds like yours. This is unfortunately, the holidays do bring out the best and worst. So,
Yeah.
that being said,
Yes. Yeah.
looking forward to a short week, seeing your family, and resting a little bit more.
Yep.
Kicking this, so I can
Eating
start
some good
functioning.
food, hanging out with some interesting people, and
Yeah,
seeing how all that goes.
yeah. The only time of year we do.
Yep.
But binge. See, and I say binge. What I wanted to do before our eldest talked us out of it was to hold on to all of the Landmans and then binge them later, this season 2, right? Because that's just what I do. It's what we do.
Yeah.
Instead,
I
she wants to watch them every week. I kind of caved because
Sure.
we don't watch many things.
No.
But, I want to binge.
Yeah, I got to admit, I do enjoy the whole just sitting down and just watching them all, because I don't do that very often. It's not like I come home, turn on the TV, and just watch
I feel
stuff.
like we need to save some for a while.
Or at least something, And that show is interesting.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
I
certain
do.
certain aspects of it,
I like it.
the acting has been pretty
Well,
pretty weird.
1923 lost me, and I still have not finished it to this day.
Mhm.
It was.
Yeah, I saw a
he
clip,
had
and I'm
to,
like, I don't want to see that. It's like I saw a clip, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to watch what leads up to that. I just don't.
Maybe you shouldn't tell me.
I won't. But yeah.
The perversion
Mm-hmm.
just kind of started driving me nuts. Like, do we really have to keep hammering on this? I get this dude's nasty. Like, do we really need to keep like going there?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I will finish it at some point. Whether or not you tell me whatever it is you saw, whether or not I let you.
Yep.
Was it real? That's another question, because sometimes these clips aren't real.
Oh no, this was. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
No, I'm not gonna.
Is this the dude and the estranged wife, or was this Harrison Ford and?
Not even.
You're rude.
Not even.
Why would you even do this?
Not even. Because I don't. I want to.
I like how you're all hearing how rude he is.
No.
Anyway.
Because I don't want to think about it, and I don't want to talk about it because I would like to think that. Okay, there's a fundamental truth that every story ends in tragedy. Every like every love story you've ever heard, every fairy tale you've ever heard, every movie, romantic movie you ever watched, if you actually stick around long enough, it's going to end in tragedy because everybody dies. But there's a reason why movies end when they do. So you don't have to suffer that part too. We want to remember the good. We want to focus on the good part. The good parts. The beginnings and the falling head.
This was supposed to be like the prequel.
Yes, and the idea of just it's like no, you know what? I don't want to. I want to focus on the stuff that was nice about it. I don't want to see. I know how it ends. At least in part, I know how part of it ends.
Well, that's ridiculous. Why didn't you just watch the show with me or like? Anyway,
if you want,
it's
to
because
watch
you doom scroll for hours and hours and hours, and then you run across these things, and instead of not watching
and
them
I get stuff
and
sent to
teasing me
all
like you
the
do
freaking
right
time.
now,
I get stuff sent to me all the time.
you watch it
yeah,
when you could totally shut it off.
I could. But when you think it's one thing and it turns out to be something else, and you're like, "Ah, I was better for not having known that." Darn it. Like, if you want to watch it, I will happily sit down and watch it with you. I just don't want to. I don't want to watch that on my own. I can leave that door closed and be perfectly okay.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. Anyway. So. We watched some shows.
Yeah, we watched some shows.
And Boston Blue, which is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The Blue Bloods spin-off.
Yeah,
Not terrible.
No. It has some things, but what show doesn't? Yeah. But I think it's a little bit funny because we didn't talk about topic. You just asked if I had something I wanted to talk about, something that was on my heart. Or,
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, there's something.
Haven't had anything.
Sort of. There's something. And then you brought up the dysfunctional family Christmas stuff and all of that. And I was like, that actually kind of, it's not a direct segue, but it does kind of segue into what I was thinking about. And it was, in part, it was somebody's post that kind of got me thinking, but it's not just family. Okay. Let me back up just a bit.
Okay.
Cohesive thoughts just are escaping me currently.
Okay.
There is a time, and there are situations where the healthiest thing you can possibly do is cut ties with other people.
We've talked a little about that.
We have talked a little bit about that. And there's multiple layers of that. I mean, there's different levels. There's just, I'm not seeking out your, contact anymore. If you reach out, great, I'm here. If not, yeah, we'll just see how that goes. And then there's actively, like if they're going to be there, I won't be. Like, and then you can go a bit further and they're dead to me. Don't even say their freaking name to me, because
that's a lot.
That's a non-starter. There's varying degrees of all of that.
Sure.
And that can be, truthfully, wholly the healthiest, most appropriate thing that you can do. Depending. The problem is that I see with cutting people off is people are cutting people off for such superficial reasons. Like, if you disagree on politics,
man.
I'm sorry, that's not a reason to, if you start, politics are a hot button. Politics are a hot button. They've always kind of been a hot button.
Uh-huh.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, we're coming up on 10 years now of like the worst, most ridiculous.
Oh, it's absurd.
Extreme.
It has definitely been absurd, and it's been getting worse.
Actually, I think we are at like 10 years now.
Something like that.
Because all the pre-election.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not saying, they disagree. They voted how you didn't. They voted for somebody you didn't like, so I'm never talking to them again. No, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm talking about. That is so stupid and superficial. No, I'm not saying their opinions are stupid or your opinions are stupid. I'm saying removing somebody for your life over something that has, in a lot of ways, it's kind of meaningless. I mean, every elected official individually has so little power in the grand scheme of things. Because there's checks and balances in the system, and you've got to work through all of them. That's like, yeah, you know what? You don't like this person. You voted for him. He's whatever, or she's whatever. Yeah, that might all be true, and they're going to lean in that direction. But you happen to agree with, Well, I had a conversation with somebody recently at work that if I sit down with somebody that I disagree with politically, and we talk about stuff, we will likely agree on 90+% of the end result that we are hoping for. What we really disagree with isn't the end results we want to see, because we all want to see people healthy and happy and thriving, and everybody wants everybody to have that. The disagreement is, how do we get there? I mean, that's when a good chunk of it comes down to, is the process and how we got there, not the end goal. And as long as the end goal is the same, then we can discuss, debate, and disagree with the process that we get there. I'm not talking about that kind of thing. I think if you disagree with somebody politically, that's a good reason to actually get in a little bit closer with them and talk. Even talk loud sometimes, but talk. It's.
So what's the part that's got you distressed?
Well, cutting people off because you disagree with them on silly things like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I think that's a reason to get closer to them, to better understand them. I think, in all honesty, I still agree wholeheartedly with the idea of the beginning of wisdom is the statement, I don't know. And if I don't care if you're the greatest expert in any single topic in the world, it means you're not an expert in everything else. So you can open your, you can back off just a little bit and listen to what somebody else has got to say, because they might have that little kernel of wisdom that you're lacking. I'm a firm believer. Basically, everybody has some bit of information I don't have that I would benefit from having. So talk to them, learn from them, give them that kind of opportunity to speak. And in the process, you learn something, they learn something, even if it's just why you think the way you do. What I'm talking about is, the more legitimate reasons why you should, why you would consider cutting people out of your life. Now, we're going to go spend time with people we politically disagree with in a lot of cases, in most respects.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I would say the vast majority
sure,
of respects.
Sure. And again, we don't disagree on the end product for the most part. We disagree on how to get there, which is, sure, fine. We can disagree on that.
We avoid that topic.
We do. We because we want to keep the peace. But we do sometimes have conversations. But there's still an affection there and an appreciation of each other's company, even though we disagree. Because fundamentally, we know their heart's in the right spot, mostly.
There's zero secret that we all disagree, that we disagree.
Yes.
And we are the minority.
Yeah, we are. But and again, that's fine in and of itself. But then there's other family that it has nothing to do with things like that. Again,
because
as
much as we disagree, we're still respected.
Yeah,
and the family that we have cut out, we are not respected.
Yeah, and there's there are individuals that we've excised from our life. We haven't gone out of our way to make them feel like we cut them out, I guess. I mean, it's, oh no, that's how this is going to be. We're not doing that. Goodbye. And yeah, a lack of respect is one thing. It's like, I will just happily not hang out. I mean, that's kind of creating my abs. It's like, okay, you're being disrespectful and dismissive, and I don't, my presence here is obviously not appreciated. I'm just not going to come around anymore. That's kind of a passive cutting people out of your life. It's like, oh, obviously I'm not appreciated here. Obviously you don't respect my opinion or my presence, so why would I intentionally stay here? If someone's got nothing good to say to you, or about you, why would you go out of your way to go spend time together? I mean, that's, in a manner of speaking, that's cutting somebody out. It's like, it's like, as long as you're going to be disrespectful, I'm going to respect myself enough to not be there. And that can that can take many forms. But I mean, there's a level of treatment, I guess. There's a level of where it goes beyond just being disrespectful. And you're dealing with somebody who's actively trying to harm you. Whether, could be emotionally harm. Nobody should put up with physical harm from somebody. Period. Ever. If you're in a boxing gym, you're getting punched in the face. We're not talking about that's not abuse. That's working out. But I mean,
yes, there's a difference.
There's a difference. And there's something to be said for a mutual level of horseplay. Like, that's not something we personally, we have never gone out and, wrestled in the leaves out in the yard.
Yeah, we don't have
like
a Four Christmases situation. That's not really.
No, but I mean,
like
but there's.
The brothers? No, that's not.
That was,
No.
That was funny. It was great for a movie. It would suck in real life. But, it's like, if you're in a position where, it's like physical abuse is something you can anticipate, why are you there? It's like, as long as this is happening, you're not in my life anymore. Goodbye.
Yeah. Doesn't get that far.
No, you shouldn't let it get that far. But I mean, growing up in a household where that is possible, where that kind of physical, like, I'm trying to be delicate. I don't. It's like, but where physical abuse is happening, and you grow up and you move away, and then you never go back. It's like, well, why do we never see you? feel free to tell them, like, well, it's very simple. Like, I'm not a punching bag. I didn't deserve that. I still don't deserve that. And you forfeited the right for my presence in doing that. You know,
She's really
she is really going to town on that stuffy. I don't know if that's translating into the microphone, but it looks like it is from the audio track there. But she's going to town.
Anyway, what is the heart of your thought today?
Well, I mean, it's not. Well, in part, it was a conversation we had in the car yesterday, where sometimes you cut somebody out more because you're supporting someone else. I mean, you know, we're going to just automatically assume if there's physical abuse in any way, shape, or form, and we all understand that. And I think anybody with any level of mental health, it's like any kind of healthy thought processes would be, no, I will support you in that. Do you need help me moving your crap? Perfectly okay with that. We understand that. But there's sometimes it's more about being emotionally healthy. I'm trying to. Usually I'm really good with analogies and examples and things like that, or at least I like to think so. I'm really coming up short, and I think it's because it's like that aspect is just hitting a little close to home right now. But sometimes just for I'm jumping rungs, I guess, a little bit, but sometimes just being around certain people is so emotionally draining that because of their situation, their decisions, their actions, whatever, that you can't be healthy with them in your life. Which is a situation that we're sort of dealing with. And we're actually we're one step removed.
So that's what our daughter's dealing with.
We're one step removed from that, which has been trying on some levels, personally. And I know for you too, it's there's some difficulty in supporting that. But at the same time, it would be, what's the word I'm looking for? My priority is taking care of my family and supporting my family first.
Yes, and if she were doing something wrong, we would have called her out on it.
Oh, yes.
And this would be a different conversation. This would be a very different,
yes, very much so.
But it wasn't wrong to want to self-preserve and stand up for her own integrity and ethics and morality. Mm-hmm. And we back her up on that.
And we've talked about the situation a little bit, and just the idea of an emotional cost for interactions, and at some point,
or ending them.
But I mean, to skim over the topic just a little bit, like every interaction you have with someone, there's an emotional expense.
Sure. And
I think one of the reasons why people who are autistic get spent, in social situations, is for them the emotional cost is way higher, and the benefit from the social interaction doesn't refill the account as quickly.
Sure.
Like people who are very social, they get very energized by social interaction. So they have a very low amount of outgo and a whole lot of income. People who are the individuals I have dealt with who are more autistic, who aren't particularly social, there's a lot of cost and almost no return. Not because they're people aren't trying, it's just that that's not how their tank gets filled But and sometimes you're just, you're dealing with friends who are going through stuff, and they don't have, they're running on their reserves. They've dipped way, way into their emergency fund, and your being there is giving them, you're giving your energy to help them get through to the, another day. And then at some point you're overdrawn, they're overdrawn, and you're both lacking. And Dory has left. Anyway, and that's kind of where our daughter ended up. She had everything that she had to spend was spent, and the relationship was only asking for more and not giving any in return.
Well, there was also the point of not continuing to support things that
Yeah.
that she felt were
And
completely unethical. And
I am super condensing the whole thing. I mean, it was myriad and multi-leveled.
I just want to make sure we mention the actual point. Like, it wasn't just like that. It was an emptiness within the relationship.
No, there was a lot going on, but the emotional cost was very high. And in order to preserve herself, she decided it was necessary, and understandably so, to go no contact. And I really hope that everybody ends up healthier on the other side of it. I really do.
I think our daughter will.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I hope everybody does. I really do. It's one of those, there's no animosity. Okay, I think there's a little animosity. I mean, not like
with her.
Not like, and I don't mean that it like, she wants to beat somebody up or slash their tires or the hopes that they die. I'm not, but there's some stress level there, and there's some aggravation and a little bit of anger. Understandably so.
A little bit of, really, this is what you chose and this is where you ended up.
And this is what we put up with all this crap for. Yeah. But ideally we want everybody in that situation to end up better in the end. We want success and happiness and health and all that for everybody. But sometimes the only way that you can survive is to walk away.
Why is this on your heart? In what capacity?
In part, there's a number of people that we no longer have in our lives for many, many different reasons. We both have siblings that we shut the door on a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
For many reasons.
And every once in a while we're reminded that we still made the right choice.
Yeah. And, yeah. And at the same time, just because I closed the door, or I should, more accurately, we closed the door. Independently and together, we closed the doors. Sometimes, just because you cut them out doesn't mean you don't miss them. And holidays especially, it's like you tend to, memory is fickle. And you sometimes forget how bad certain things were because nostalgia filters. I have a pretty good memory for certain things, but at the same time, I try to make a point of not holding on to the bad stuff as much as I am able, because the only thing it does is make me worse. And sometimes I forget. I hold on to just enough to remember the whys, because you don't want to forget completely, open the door and go, oh, wait.
I can't say it's a hold on for me so much as it is just an ingrained reminder.
Well, yeah. But, see, there's Um, I am in my job. I'm kind of an outsider. Um, I'm not on the floor every day with the same people day in, day out, interacting with them. So I'm not part of that group. And then I'm not one of the supervisors, and I'm not part of those groups. And I'm not in any particular bay at any, so it's like I'm not part of those groups. I kind of float around the periphery of everybody. So everybody knows me. Everybody's like, oh, hey, I need a hand. And they know, there I am. So it hasn't been just here. It was also at the last place I worked, where after a little while, they just come to rely on you as being the person that comes and fixes things. And eventually, they start unloading their personal stuff, hoping you can fix it. If that makes any sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I hear things from people. Sometimes very personal things. And for the most part, I try to remain disconnected from those kind of situations as much as possible, because you never know what you're opening the door to. But you can't not hear some of it. I try to avoid situations where too much is unloaded, because that's not my role. Okay, that's like, I'm a human being and I care, but there's a certain point where it's like, dude, you're just dumping manure on me, and there's nothing I can do with this manure. I don't have a garden, I try to be more tactful than that, So I hear about my kids won't talk to me. They moved away and they don't call, they don't answer my phone calls, they don't, it's like barely any contact. And okay. And there's probably a myriad of reasons for that. But I always kind of want to ask the question, are you so oblivious that you don't realize that you would have had to have done something so profound that they would rather be orphans than deal with you?
I think you've said that before.
I may have. And I'm not going to say that to people. Wrong place,
Maybe
wrong...
you just said it to me. I don't know.
No, but I mean, I'm not going to, sitting in a break room, I'm just trying to make some tea, okay?
Yeah, you should probably not do that at work. You know, boundaries,
yes. And that's just not, this is not the time or place.
People filing complaints, he said, she said.
Yeah, exactly. Not playing that game. I'm just going to make my tea and get on with my day. But now, there's another side of that where, controlling spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever it happens to be, tries to isolate the individual so they can better control them. That's also a thing.
I feel like we're hopping here.
We are a little bit hopping, but
I'm trying to keep up, and I'm tired.
But we're not talking so much about that. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that every time that a kid and a parent get separated, and the doors closed, that it's always the parents. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. Sometimes other stuff happens.
Sure.
But in those cases where it is, it's like, if you can look back and go, well, I could have done better. Well, yes, we could have. Every single parent on the planet can honestly look back on their lives and go, yeah, I could have done that better. Because you weren't a parent and you were figuring it out as you go. So yeah, you made some mistakes. Own them. That's not what we're talking about here. It's like, but did your kid feel loved? Did your kid feel safe? Did your kid feel protected? Were they emotionally safe to be around you? When they came to you with problems, did you treat them like they were the problem? Did you are the individual that had the child. They did not choose you. You decided to have them. That means they don't owe you squat. You owe them everything. Did you treat them like they owed you? Like, well, I raised you. You owe me now. No, that's not how that works. You chose to bring them into the world. You owe them. It's like telling a dealership, you bought the car, and now the dealership, needs to make the payments. That's not how that works. You pay for the car. You chose to get the car. Anyway, um, you know, if you're going to ask questions like, I don't know why, are they, it's like, I don't know why they don't talk to me anymore. Well, maybe you should do some introspection. It's a good time. Be honest with yourself. Possibly for the first time in your life, be honest with yourself. Because if it's a complete blank, maybe you need to have a wellness check done. But if it's, if you look back and go, yeah, okay, you know what, I drank too much, or this happened, or that happened, yeah, maybe you needed to address that. Because I can't think of anybody, truthfully, that doesn't want to have a good relationship with their parents. It's almost always comes down to my parents are the reasons why I don't want to have anything to do with them. In my case, that's, it's like, we just, like, I would love to spend more time with them. Sort of.
No one can see our faces right now.
I mean, it's true. I mean, we don't have a whole lot in common anymore. We've grown very much apart. But at the same time, like yeah,
that is so off topic. I'm not
so
biting on that.
Well, but I mean,
but
it's like I don't interact with my parents much, but it's like I haven't closed the door on them at all.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with the exiling that you're talking about.
No, not at all. There's a difference between distance and closing the door. Yeah, I'm a little rambly today.
Yeah, and I'm tired, and I'm not sure what to do about helping you keep up and come out of the holes. And I'm like, where are we again? Was this excising people? Was this parenting? Where are we?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Well, it's acknowledging the fact that there's there is a unhealthy and healthy reasons for cutting people out of your life.
No matter who they are.
No matter who they are. And there are healthy reasons to do it, and there are healthy ways to do it. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be taken lightly, which I started off talking about. It's like you don't cut people out for silly crap. I mean, admittedly, there are differences of opinions that are completely incompatible. Sure, that's fair. But most things are ignorable. There are certain topics that are sacrosanct, sure. There are certain ideals that people hold above all, sure. So don't hang out, but there's a threshold, and everybody's threshold is different, but a difference of opinion is way different than emotional and physical and psychological harm.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of where kind of my point. That is kind of, for me, that is kind of the threshold. It's like when you're a difference of opinion, your opinion is challenged, your opinion is bruised, your ego might get bruised. That might be a reason to leave early or change the topic, not shut the door on something.
Okay. There's another SNL scat, this is like more recent, but still several years old. I have no idea like the names of the people in there because I haven't paid attention in a really, really long time. But sitting around at Thanksgiving dinner, and it has to have been in at least the last 10 years because it's into the super hot political topics, going at each other on the racism stuff and the sexist and the things, and then all of a sudden they start playing Adele and everything stops.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They play Hello, and then everybody's singing, and by the end, everybody's looking and acting like Adele. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If only
you
you could just start playing a song.
Yep.
Was that like the Band-Aid song, like back
You know
in
what?
the whenever?
Maybe. It was funny though.
Feed the world, anyway, or like Beatles, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. But I mean,
John Lennon. It wasn't even the Beatles. It was John Lennon.
sure. Either way, overrated. Anyway,
It's
that's
not.
a fight happening.
I wish it was that easy.
Oh, sure, it would be. I mean, and
It's not.
if it's hard to quantify, I guess, it is, which makes it hard for me to nail down. I really like having hard lines and numbers and things you can point to and go, okay, this far and no further. That line in the the line in the sand, you cross that line and we're done.
I don't. We're just. Particularly your family that we don't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's never been to a point where we were. First of all, the conversations don't get that far in depth.
No,
100%. That does not happen.
Me and my aunt have.
You and your aunt individually.
Yes.
Not at a family gathering.
No.
Not at a holiday. Okay.
No. What?
No. Because we would never have been, number one, invited back. It would have been ugly.
Well, it was at her house. Well, at one point we were having a conversation. Somebody walked in, listened to like 5 seconds, and went, nope, and turned around and walked out.
I won't ask who that was. But I will say that we are considered basically poor white trash by her eldest son.
Yeah, but
so, but it has nothing to do with, he just knows that we're conservative and hates us.
The thing is, he's just a
but
douche.
It's not our actual beliefs, because he'd have to have an actual conversation with us to know them. It's just, he's tossing us into a blanket pile of you're conservative. So I'll take that, because I don't want to have a conversation with him.
Not really.
I've had enough over the years. I'm good.
Sure.
And I've heard enough, I should say. I've overheard enough. But those days are done, because we're just not typically together.
No.
If they're at his home, we're not invited.
Which is fine.
And if we're invited, then he doesn't typically come.
Yep.
So, and it's not because of us.
No, it's just how it works out.
He just thinks he's better. So, I'm going to say, we are generally respected.
Yes.
Within your
family.
And there are the boundaries that are not crossed, and that's why it is not a problem.
No. Well,
but we also uphold them.
At the same time,
we don't cross it either.
No, and there's affection there, and with that affection is some leeway to disagree.
Yes,
which is fine, and which is the way it should be. It's like you don't have. I'm still a firm believer you don't have to agree with people, but I only ask that have any opinion you want. I just ask. I'm just going to ask about it, and if you can't answer rationally why you have that opinion, I'm just going to. It's like, well, if you can't tell me why you have that opinion, why do you have that opinion? And I want you to do the same to me. And that is the foundation of every conversation with every individual I've ever had. It's like, and please, if you ask me a question and I give you my opinion and you go, why do you think that? And I can't tell you, I'm going to tell you, you know what? I need to reevaluate that. I have confused the crap out of people. Anyway, it's like, you were serious. Yes, I was serious. It's like, you know what? I've always thought that. And now I really need to think of why. Good. Thank you for asking that. Time to adjust. But, more back to it. It's like, like, if any point we were mistreated, demeaned, defamed, disrespected, and I don't mean like a one-time kind of just tempers kind of flare kind of thing, because emotions are emotions. People are people. Stuff happens. misunderstandings abound, that would be a reason to walk away. If that was the basis of the relationship, that'd be a reason to close the door. Sometimes you keep the door open in the hope that things will improve. But there comes a point where you have to evaluate, the door's been closed and locked for so long, maybe we should just board the thing over and move on with our life.
Yeah, I'm not aiming for some like Hallmark ending. That's not life.
I will use, to a point, or at least, like my sister. She has spent her entire life complaining about being the victim for situations that she created. She could burn down the house and blame it on the matches. It's like she gets.
And yes, we have enough connection.
Mutual
connection that we know exactly where she's at in life.
Yes. Many, 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 many years ago, she had a friend who was dating an abusive, cheating jackweed. I'm going to use the term jackweed from, Parks and Rec. Jackweed. Anyway, convinced her friend to dump this individual and then proceeded to date him. He ended up living in my parents' front yard in his car for a little while. Absolute just piece of work.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to complain to everybody because he was an abusive, manipulative jackweed. Like, poor her. Like, you set yourself on fire. Let me get this straight. You took the gas, you took your friend who was being burned by the gas. You took the gas can, then dumped it all over yourself, and then lit the match, set yourself on fire, and now you want to complain that it's hot. Okay. And then every situation in her life was like that. Every time she'd interact with everybody, it turned into poor me. It has nothing to do with me. It was done to me. I'm the victim. Look at me, I'm the victim. Look at me, I'm the victim. Over and over and over and over. And she would hijack everything that happens. Birthdays, baby showers, weddings, wedding receptions.
Might have witnessed that.
Yeah, might have witnessed that just a little bit. And tried to turn it into the, oh, woe is me, look at me parade. Oh, my life is so hard. It's like, aren't you the one that made it hard? The self-centered, narcissistic, just BS.
You cost my now husband thousands of dollars in a phone bill that you racked up. And I don't really want to hear about how hard your life is.
Mm-hmm.
That may or may not have been why we didn't want her there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, many reasons. That door got closed.
Of course, your parents had no problem defending her either.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Because they believed it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. If you... I am a firearms person. So if you go to my safe and you pick one of the multiple firearms that are in there, and then you take it out, and you find the ammo, and you load it, and then you cock the hammer, and point it at your foot, and pull the trigger, and now you're like, oh my gosh, what did you do to me? What? And then for the rest of your life you complain about, it's like you're a victim of the limp. Like, okay. Like, you all right, no, sorry, that's not how this is going to play out. You know, I'm, and even in with all of her BS, all of the crap, all of the self-centered, narcissistic, self-destructive crap that she's done, I still hope for the day where she grows the heck up.
Sure.
She's almost 50.
Mm-hmm.
48 years old.
And your parents are still buying into the same sham.
They stopped giving her money, which is good.
I think. I don't know.
They don't have any left over. He already spent it all. Anyway, that's another thing for
but,
day.
But you know, they're still desperate to believe that their daughter is gonna change.
Mm-hmm. And I hope she does, but I am not going to be the methodology that she uses to do so. You know, I mean, that I haven't boarded that door, but I'm definitely not unlocking it until I know something's different. In point of fact, I actually have something for her in the garage.
Really?
Yes.
I had no idea.
I've been carrying it around since the 5th grade.
Okay.
Not that she'd ever appreciate it then. I guarantee she wouldn't appreciate. She wouldn't have appreciated it then, and she has no methodology. She doesn't have the capability of appreciating it because it requires a lack of selfishness to find anything in it. So I still have it, hoping for the day that I can hand it to her, and she'll say thank you. Actually,
I wouldn't hold your breath.
I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna. But I mean, I've known people who, you know, their parents were abusive, or at least a parent was massively abusive, physically and emotionally. I mean, you can't take psychologically out of there. I mean, or you can beat the kids for the stuff that they did, beat their kids for the stuff that they didn't. And then the kids feel bad about walking away. Like, no, you know what, you've got to survive. I mean, there's something to be said for the you know, the directive to honor your parents. But you honor your parents by being an honorable adult. You become a better person than what their parentage trained you to be. Not put up with being devalued, dehumanized, used. You're not a piggy bank, you're not a punching bag. You're not the self-esteem builder. The most honorable thing you can do is walk out the door and close it behind you. And you might, you know, and you're going to feel bad. You're going to feel the loss.
Yes.
But when you get more anxiety about the idea of opening the door than you do about leaving it closed, you should leave it closed. If closing the door gives you relief, you know, if you close the door and suddenly you feel safe because you weren't safe before, then you need to leave that damn door closed.
A lot of people struggle with that because it's a worldly conception.
They're your family. It's like, you know what? It's like, here, let's use another freaking biblical example. It's like the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That means the family you create is more valuable than the family you're born into. That blood is thicker than water. It's like that's a very edited, misconstrued, and misused verse. It's like, yeah, family is important. I think family, in a lot of ways, should be the most important thing. You know, the most important group of people in your corner backing you up. But if they're the ones that are trying to drown you, you cut them loose. And I think, there needs to be some grace, of course. It's like you have to understand your...
There's always going through the process of forgiveness and
Sure.
in acknowledgement and a closure, and there's all of that.
Oh, yeah. And
while you step away from the thing that is wounding you.
Yeah, you can't heal a wound that's still being inflicted. It's like they can't stitch up the knife wound until the knife's not there, cutting deeper. You've got to get yourself to a place where you aren't currently being injured before you can get healed.
I'm not really sure why this was on your heart and why you brought it up, but I know we zigzagged all over.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
Really apologize
I do that.
for that. Like raining like a herd of cats today. I'm tired.
It was all peripheral to the conversation.
I don't normally let you squirrel like that, but why was this on your heart? What brought it up in this way before as we end today? Do you mind sharing that?
Well, to a degree. There's a number of people I'm not in contact with currently. Just because we just fell out of contact. Kind of miss them. And others that we had to close the doors on. There's entire sections, groups of people that we've got no contact with, really.
I know.
And, we both have our sisters. Okay, I have the one sister.
I'm okay with that choice, and my brother.
And your sister and your brother.
I'm okay with that choice.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I'm not. There's a great deal of peace in their absence. But it's still absence. Specifically, your sister in the holidays was a nightmare, and I don't miss that at all.
It was for my brother, too, in a different way.
Had way fewer interactions.
Mainly the stress it induced in my mother, and then she would become erratic and
little crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
She had her moments. But no, this time of year things are just so many.
She was a different set of crazy.
Yeah. Well, just this time of year, there's so many reminders of what was.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And there were always good times. And it's the good times you miss.
They were few and far between, but yeah.
Sure.
Missed them then. Miss it now.
Yep. It's one of those, it's like, we're better off for them not being around. But at the same time, they're still not around. And it's a time of year where I get way more melancholy and introspective.
Okay, didn't entirely come out that way, but okay. This is a forum for you to work it out.
Well, I think that's part of the idea. And it's, there's people out there dealing with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
every day.
And if one of them happens to stumble across our little thing we got going here, give them the opportunity to listen to somebody else's craziness and hear that, it's okay. It's not necessarily fun. It's not something you're going to enjoy. But sometimes the thing you need to save your life is to cut something off.
Often.
If your appendix was going to kill you, you wouldn't think twice about cutting it off. Well,
Out.
if
Yeah.
sure. Well, it's like this stuff that's happening to you mentally and emotionally with people is just as valid as an inflamed appendix. Potentially more damaging because emotionally what happens to you, you spread to others. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for yourself and for the people around you and the people you care about is to slam that door shut. And there might be times where you kind of wish you could open the door. There are going to be times where you wish you could have that, when it's good, it's great. But when it's bad, you don't know if you're going to survive till morning. Like, you know what? No. It's like when it's bad, when it's that bad, it's not worth the good. And it's not an average. There's a point where, no, this kind of bad, there's no amount of good on the planet that makes up for it.
Well,
so close the door.
It's recognizing the toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
You got to recognize it to begin with, and then figure out everything else it affects, flush it out. There's a lot of analogies that could be used there.
Sure.
But at the end of it, you're right. And that's its own process. And this is the time of year where it just seems to be more amplified.
Now, you might be the person out there that you are in the process of saving yourself. And this is your first Thanksgiving alone.
Yeah, that's true.
And you're looking at holidays by yourself. And, that's potentially exhilarating, and at the same time, you've never felt so alone.
And you can live simultaneously in both those camps.
Most definitely. And if you are one of those people, there's other people out there in the similar boat who are looking for people just like you. Of course, we'll be the first one to tell you, it's like, you know what, there's a local church out there. I guarantee that they'll open their doors. There's somebody that's there that will happily make sure you're not alone when you don't.
Absolutely.
When you shouldn't be. And there's also all kinds of other groups. You don't have to be alone. But, anyway, there's an emotional price to be paid.
There always is for
healing. There always is. Even when the door's closed, sometimes it costs a little just to keep it locked. And it's the holidays, so I'm feeling it a little bit.
And the crucifixion was incredibly ugly too, but the beauty that came from it is absolutely unprecedented.
Yep.
Unfathomable. So.
Yep. Sometimes, unfortunately, the best thing for you is the pain of the now to get rid of the pain for the future.
And let's try not to keep it so gloomy from here on through. But I'll have a better mindset next time. I'll be more prepared.
Sure.
Drag you right back out. So I apologize now to everybody that I didn't do a better job with that. But we hope everyone has an amazing Thanksgiving, especially for our USA listeners that will be celebrating that.
Yep. Most definitely.
Or at least our American citizens, wherever you are hearing it.
Yep.
Wherever you are.
If you celebrate Thanksgiving, enjoy.
Enjoy.
If
you don't, enjoy your Thursday anyway.
Yep. Hope you have a good weekend and
prep
for Christmas and whatever holiday that you're celebrating. We hope you have a good one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Get out there and get out there and be the person that is the reason other people open doors back up.
Amen.
So with that, I will have to say, I'm Fix It.
I'm Feel It.
We hope you join us in the future.
Until next week.
We can't talk. Have a great one.
Happy Thanksgiving.